everybody. It is the Undercover Witch, and today we're going to be talking about runes. So I was trying to get out of just doing readings. I do want to continue doing readings for you. I will continue doing them. I'm going to do one today. I'm going to upload it today. But I also wanted to include more things, so today we're going to be talking about runes. I only have one book to go off right now. It's not where I learned runes. I actually learned runes by reading an oracle deck, and I do have that somewhere. But I don't have the book for it anymore. I kind of just started picking things up on my own and went from there. So, I have a little bit of trouble reading. My pronunciation isn't perfect with normal English words. It's not going to be with these, so please be generous with me here. And the book I'm going off of is not my favorite. It is Silver Raven Wolf. I do not like her. The book is called Solitary Witch. I do not really like her, so instead of actually using her book, I just used her little drawings of the symbols. I don't know if you can see them over here. And I wrote what the names actually are, and I already know what they mean, so I don't need to worry about that. I just feel like when you say don't listen to people's dharma and like get caught up in hating other groups of people, and you go hate them, other groups of people, aren't you counteracting? Like, instead of saying, if there's anything bad in my book, then just leave it out, why don't you just be a little better and stop bashing people? That's my take on it. And also, this whole thing, I don't know where she gets these names or these spellings from, because they're not right. Okay, all that aside, we're going to talk about runes. If you don't know what runes are, there's different kinds. So the ones we're talking about today are Norse. So they're based off the Norse mythology. And we're going to be talking about what they mean, what they look like. But there's also witch runes, and there's other types of runes. I don't know all of them. I don't even know what the witch runes are. I've seen them, never used them, never looked into them, never studied them, just wasn't interested in them. But they are out there. So I would find or do research on types of runes and pick ones that go with what you're going for. I mean, I'm not exactly sure. I think everything has a theme, kind of like oracle cards. Everything kind of has a theme, and different types of tarot cards of what that overall message is trying to say. For example, the oracle that I learned these from, the big message was basically that there is power in endings. I think that's the big takeaway, is that there is power in endings. And there's some other oracle cards that I have that are like, this is self-empowerment, or this is very just basic witchy. You know, let's talk about how this big picture thing relates on a small, like, witchy scale. Like, what does that look like in the witch world kind of thing. There's a whole bunch of different things, and runes are the same way. They're going to have their own overall feel to them. So, I feel like, however, the Norse runes are kind of like the basic tarot to me, that they're so general that you can create them to be what you want them to be. So, let's dive in, okay? I don't have these in order. Give me 1 second. I'm looking for a specific one. Here it is. Okay. So this is my first rune. The name of it is Behu. And this one, it refers to like farming cattle. So basically it kind of translates to your wealth and your materialistic well-being. And so when you pull this, that's usually like, hey, you know, you have your stuff together, or something's coming today, or, you know, this is what you're going to be focusing on today if you do like a regular pull. And if you have it reversed, you know, depending on how you pull it. See, like if I had pulled one like this, I would think that means like, okay, these different things are coming together and you're getting stuff lined up. If it was this way, I'd be like, okay, so you have a pretty stable thing, maybe with your money, and you know, it looks like it's kind of moving like in the future, like you're going to be more focused on your materialistic standpoint. Reversed, I would say, okay, yeah, you know, you need to get something in order, something's not in order. I probably use it as like information for kind of the environment you're living in and the state that you're living in. So the next one I have is Orbus, and it's this one here. And this one is all about your mental ability, your mental power, your ability to kind of have a strong mind, or be decisive, or be intellectual. It's that mind power. It could be relating to your third eye. It could be relating to, like, if you're somebody that's in your head a lot, you just think you're very concentrated here. And so if this one were coming up, if it is any which way, I think if it's this way, it's probably saying like maybe you feel a little out of it right now, maybe you feel like a little spacey. And this way, I would probably say, you know, you're very focused. You're very in tune with what you're thinking. You know, you have that ability to just, you know, follow a line of thought that many people can't. And kind of like you're taking it very seriously. This way or that way, I would probably say maybe, especially this way. I don't know why when it goes this way, it kind of worries me, as in maybe you're going to be too stressed out or overthinking of something. Or here, whereas I feel like you're coming out of that stressed out stage. That's kind of how I read it. The next one is Thorizas, which I think is everybody's, probably the most famous one out of all of them. Or no, there's another one. This one's probably the second. So this is Thorizas, and this one is kind of Thor's hammer is basically what it is, or thorn. And this one is about protection. So to me, I think there's different types of strength in here. There's a lot of these that just say strength. And kind of like Orbus, that one is just strength, but it is specifically mental strength. You also have other ones in here that also refer to strength, or standing tall, or protection. This one is protection as kind of you yourself are not strong, but you have protection, or maybe you have a barrier of some sort that's keeping you protected, or something that's making you look stronger than you are, that's kind of out there as a kind of just as a way to protect you. But this one to me is more like you have something that's protecting you. It's like a trinket, or maybe you're carrying around like a protection satchel or something of the sort. You have protection though. It's something that you have. And whether, you know, if you want to write this on something that you use for protection, that's a really good thing. If this one, I would say, hey, your defenses are down, maybe you need to put more work into protecting yourself. You're very open right now. Back, I would say, is maybe you needed a lot of protection in your past, but now you're going into a space where you can be more open with yourself. And the opposite, I would say, it's probably like you're going into some kind of hard time where you're going to have to be on your guard. The next one is Ensus. Can't say them, I'm so sorry. This one, when I was reading my oracle, the part that I do remember from that little book is, it is the breath of Odin, like the first breath. And what it means is basically your, you know, when we are born, Odin gives us, you know, his last breath, or our first breath, and that is the transference of knowledge. It's about wisdom. I think in here, and this one specifically, again, you know, where is it? Oh no, it does. I thought it said strength in there somewhere. I think I was reading something else. Okay, so yeah, it's kind of saying the same thing I'm saying, but it's also about like spoken or written word. So maybe there's something in there that you're talking about, or that is just verbal or written communication. So this may be like, you are very good at those things. This one may be like, hey, you found out some information, you're going into something, or you're going to find out some information. And this way is maybe you're missing information. Someone's keeping something from you. Radho. This one is about the richness. I always like, because it's an R, it looks like an R. I always think about like the richness of life. I think all of these are actually going to be reversed when you look at them in the screen. So keep that in mind. They're going to probably be like that. But Radho is the richness of life. On here, on this book, it says, you know, traveling, etc., a new spiritual path, whatever. I don't really agree with that. I think it has more to do with the parts of your life that you're enjoying, actually taking time to appreciate where you are in life and your surroundings and your environment. If it's reversed, of course, I would say maybe you're not appreciating where you are right now, and that's okay. Maybe you're gonna have, you know, a better time ahead, happiness ahead. And backwards, maybe you enjoyed your life a lot and you really appreciated it, and now you're going to this space where you just don't like where you're at and you kind of wish it was the way it was. Oh gosh, how do you say this? Kenwas, I believe is how it's pronounced. And this one is the breath of kinship. Or the, oh sorry, I guess, oh well no, it's gonna be backwards either way. But to me, it's supposed to be like this. To y'all, it's probably like this. But that one too is about the connection you have with your family that is alive, that's still living, the connection you have with your friends. So this tells me that, you know, those people have a lot in your lives. I don't really read it reversed or any other way unless maybe there's some conflict. If it's any other way, I would think there's conflict. Maybe instead of forward, backwards definitely conflict, forward is normal. Because like this way you can only read it. I mean, if it's sideways, you can only read it one way. So it's either you're reading it reversed. I don't know. Next is Gabi, which is, oh, here it is. This little X right here. This one is about giving and receiving. So whatever you put into your situation, you're getting back. So if I pull this for somebody, I'm usually thinking, okay, they did something in the past that triggered this, or they're doing something right now that maybe isn't good and they're gonna get back like karma or something. Other times I see it as like, okay, this is you getting what you deserve, whether in a good way or a bad way. Which I don't really read it like any other way. This to me would be like you're putting out exactly what you're putting in. So it just means the same thing no matter which way you turn it. I would look at the things around to see if it's in a positive light or a negative light and what's it about. For example, if you had, where's my money? Feihu. Oh, if you had Feihu and it was reversed and it's saying, hey, you're not putting any money in, you're going to get that out. You don't put any money in, you're not going to get any money out of it. You put a lot of money in and you put Gabu next to it, it's saying that you're going to get that on the other side. Now, one ho, that I just can't say it. Anyway, where is it? It is this one. Ooh. So this one I think they have here, it's about family groups or covens, fulfillment, harmony. To me, it basically means you're in touch with your surroundings and you're listening. You're listening to what's going on around you, you're listening to your guides, you're connected, and you have direction, you kind of know where you're going, and you're, again, listening to your guides. I feel like it's the most important. If it's reversed or any other way, I usually take it as you're not listening. The next one is Hagalus, which is the H looking one. And no matter which way it is, it usually means that you're either going through a hard time or something, or a hard time is coming. So I would probably look at the things that are around it. Like going back to Gabu, like, let's bring that Fehu back. So if you have, oh, that's not it. So if you have this reversed, and you have Gabu, and then you have Hagalus, it's basically saying, like, you didn't put any money into this, you're getting back what you received, or you're receiving what you put into it, and it's going to cause a hard time. So maybe you're not putting enough effort into it. If we do it this way, it's saying maybe, hey, you're going through a hard time, but you're going to get back what you're putting into it. So keep working at it, keep putting things in, because it's going to, you know, be fruitful in the end. Not this is my favorite. Where is it? Oh, here it is. It's this other tiny X looking one. So this one is about your needs versus your wants. So this is about taking account of, are you getting everything that you need? Or are you getting everything that you want? And on here it says material, emotional, or spiritual needs. Okay, so yeah, so that we're on the same track here. So are you getting what you need? Are you getting what you want? Are you fulfilling your spiritual needs? Are you fulfilling your material needs? You know, what is it that you want? And sometimes I can see this, depending on what's around it, is like, hey, you're overworking, you're not considering what you want. You can't just work towards anything. You have to consider what you want to be working towards. And other times I say, hey, you're focusing too much on things you want, and you're not focusing enough on what you need. For example, I'm going to use Fehu because I think everybody relates to money pretty well. But if it's this way, it's like, yeah, you have what you need. This way, it's like, no, you're focusing too much on what you want. You need to be focusing on what you need. Isa is the single line. This one is about staying still before moving. It's basically saying you're frozen in place. You're staying still. And I think on here it says, yeah, so mental, spiritual, inactivity. So you could also use this to, like, if you wanted to draw it on something, to block out negative energy or freeze the situation so you can take time and find some clarity. But for me, this is saying, hey, you need to pause a second, or hey, you may feel like you're not moving, but you're just taking a break. Like, you're gonna move forward. You have to de-thaw and move forward. Jera, where are you? There you are. This is about harvesting. So this is harvesting what you worked for, harvesting if you made investments or you put a lot of time into a relationship. It's getting basically the reward for that. Or again, like we talked about with Gabu, getting what you deserve, whether it's good or bad. Ewas is also about staying still. This one talks about a sudden but beneficial change to location, returning of an old friend or enemy, etc. But this one I feel like is more about just like a brief pause. So Ewas is like a longer pause. This one's more like a brief pause to what you're doing. So maybe you're caught off guard, maybe you're you just need a second to think. This one's a little bit shorter of a pause. It's like, hold up, let me reassess the situation and then continue moving forward. Per throw, oh no, okay, correction, per throw is my favorite. Per throw is about your luck versus skill. It's either you're putting too much luck into something or you're putting too much of your hard work into it. So basically, like, I'm trying to think of a situation. Okay, so let's say that you're trying to apply to colleges and you're working really hard. You're just applying to all of them and you're just relying on luck to figure out if you're going to get into the actual one school you want. Instead of putting all your efforts into getting into that one school, but focusing really hard on what you're submitting with it. For example, like you're doing auditions for acting, or you're submitting writing or portfolios. Instead of focusing really hard on putting all of that into there, you're just relying on luck and hoping that your application is going to be good enough, even though you're focusing on all these other applications you're putting in. Kind of the same thing. Or like if you're too worried about the outcome of a situation, or your skill set, or it's kind of like saying you're not going out of your way to give yourself an extra edge. Oh, Algos? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. But this one is about protection. On here it says it's about assistance from the outside, ethics, etc. This one I feel like is mostly about protection. To me, it's kind of like getting protection, but from a higher up place. So from your spirit guide, or maybe your spirit animal or totem, and that being a part of that protection for you. And it's also kind of like standing tall and kind of knowing where you're at and what you need. Soul is the next one. Soul is about success and healing, it says here, but to me this is all about the sun. There's two in here that are about the sun, but this one I feel like is kind of like sun as in light, happiness, just this kind of reaching a good spot in your life. It's a really good one. With the two sun ones, there's not a reverse or negative meaning to them. Terrier, don't know how to say this one at all. But it's about sacrifice. It's basically saying sometimes you have to make a sacrifice. Sometimes you have to end something and still make a sacrifice. It's the only way to do it. Sometimes making that sacrifice makes whatever you're doing more beneficial, more worth it. And here it talks about winning battles, building one's faith, honor, victory. So it's kind of all about like victory in this one. But to me, this is about if y'all don't know, Terrier is the I don't know if he's a god, but he was the god that put his hand in the mouth of Frenier and basically sacrificed his hand. So it's about bravery, but it's also about sacrifice. One day we will talk about Norse mythology, and I will get all into it, I promise. So this is the most famous rune, Bricano. So Bricano is about growth. Like straight up, it is about growth. No matter which way you hold it, it's about growth. So maybe in a situation you may not be taking that moment, taking that time to grow, but for the most part it means growth and kind of setting your roots down, setting your foundation down. Ewas. Let me find it. Hold on. Here it is. I always think of momentum because it starts with the M. So this is about moving forward. This is like, hey, keep going. It's time to move forward. It's time to keep going. You got this. That's what this is about. I can't think. Sometimes I mean it's a reverse, and meaning that, hey, you're not moving. You need to be. You need to move forward. You need to slow down and like reassess something. Manas. This is about self. So it basically means the self. So getting in touch with yourself, defining yourself, doing soul searching, basically the whole spiritual experience. Legas. This one is about moving with the flow, being a part of the flow, not holding back, just not creating your own pace either, just flowing with everything else. In here, it means heightened sensitivity, unconscious activity, dreams, universal loves, collective consciousness, psychism. So basically, if you're in touch with everything that's going on around you, then you can move with it fluidly. Ing. Ooh. Huh. Okay. Ewas that we talked about earlier. I can't remember what I said for it, but I think I got it wrong. This is about standing up straight and standing up strong and holding yourself, and it's kind of like protection, but you look strong, but you may not actually be strong. Or I know this is the actual strength one. This one always gets me confused, but after seeing Ing, I'm like, wait a second. I got these two mixed up. This is Ing. Ing is about pausing. This is about taking a stop or pause and kind of figuring out what you want to do before you keep moving. And this one is about straight up straight and protection. And it is also about kind of confrontation. So you do kind of like assess where you're at, assess the people around you in a way. It's kind of like that, you gotta be who you gotta be in that moment kind of thing. And Ing is pausing. In here it says, nature and the world around us, passion, balance, conclusions, finding harmony in all things. But it's basically taking time to pause. And Ewas, I think on here it's like confronting so confronting our shadows, sudden change in physical location. I don't get that. I don't get how that works for that. Where are we at? Othila, which says old doll. Othila is, this one is about ancestors. On here it says building a house, an emotional structure, lineage, protection of one's property. But this is about your ancestors. So we had Kenwas, which was about your kin, or the people that were alive with you, the people that you hang around. Where is it at? Here it is. And this one is about your ancestors and your lineage, as it says here. I haven't heard of the other thing, so I don't know what that's about. Dagas is the other son. So we had Dagas and we had Sol. Oh, actually did we have 3? Do we have 3? I think we have 3 sons. Maybe not. Okay, no, we have 2. We have 2 sons. I don't know why I thought there was 3. Okay, so this one is, like I said, happiness, success. Dagas is like things coming to light. So the sun is shedding light on the darkness, it's daytime now, you can see everything. And here it means satisfaction with the situation, having a positive outlook, finding balance and harmony, and spiritual views, transformation to living a new way. So I think both of these are pretty much interchangeable almost, but Dagas is more like, I feel like Dagas is more material in your life, and Sol is more the actual sun of like, woo, like the sun card in the tarot, happiness, all that kind of stuff. And then the very, very last one is the blank one. This one is referred to as well, I refer to it as the void or destiny. And it's basically this information on here says this information is not available at this time, or the future is what you make it. So basically, to me, this can mean two things. It can mean, one, it's not set yet. Two, maybe your guides don't want you to know. Or three, you have full control over what's going to happen, which we always do, but sometimes we may feel like we don't. And sometimes there's, like, our guides want to help us out and give us suggestions, and then other times they're like, no, you need to figure this out on your own. So that is what that one means. And I will probably use runes today in our reading, and I'm really excited. I'm so sorry that I messed up that one, though. That was horrible of me. I don't use runes as often as I used to. I still use my deck, though. It's my favorite one. But, of course, there's more cues in it, like the picture and the whatever. I apologize. But, anyway, those are my runes. Thank you for watching. I hope that y'all enjoyed this. And let me know what other things y'all want me to go over. Because I'm willing to cover anything. Y'all want to do whatever. You want to, I can do a tarot class. I can do Oracle, or how to read for people. I can do how to do spells. Whatever y'all are into, let me know and I will be here for you. Alright, thanks guys.